Hey everybody, welcome to another Conversations and Cases, and this week we're going to talk a little bit about
our new Cell Wellbeing test that we have
yes,
in the office.
exciting.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's fairly new. We've had it for the past 6 months
We've been
and
playing
with our
around with it
patients,
for a
but
year. You
we
have,
started, I got introduced to it by my sister, who is a scientist herself and really knows all this about quantum physics and all this, and she's also like really into labs and functional medicine, and she found it through a patient. This is really it started in Germany,
Yep,
and
it's worldwide now. They're
worldwide,
all
been
over.
being used for quite a while, and so now we're starting to see it trickle in here in the States. And so she had us look at it, and we did it on ourselves, all of us, and we compared it to a lot of labs and some of the deep dive tests that we've been doing. We talk a lot about we're really trying to help people be optimal, right? Not just quote normal. And so a lot of people come to us and they've had labs, and their labs will say, yeah, everything's normal, but the patient will be like, but
But
I
it's more
still
complicated than
don't
that.
feel well, or I've got fatigue, or something's going on, or I can't lose weight, or I can't sleep. And so it's been amazing. We've done just our third one on us, right?
Right.
And so what this is actually a hair test. So it's a little different than typical labs. It's not blood or urine, which
Looking at the
is kind of what
cellular
we
level.
think, and it's really looking down at a cell level. And you might explain a little more about the resonance and the frequencies and all that,
Yeah,
because
and
you're
I
the
think,
physics guy.
we were doing a little bit of research before we jumped on this just to kind of, give us a little bit more information so we could share with every one of you guys. But the hair follicle is fascinating because the cells divide every 23 to 72 hours, which means you're able to get kind of an imprint of what has happened over time. And to your point, looking back months
Well,
back
yeah, 90 to
into
120 days reflection back. So a
right,
lot of times,
which helps us with understanding the exposure. But to
mm-hmm,
your point, it's 4 hair follicles. We put it on a Tesla coil. We have this
mm-hmm,
in the office, so it's like really quick. And like Tesla, it's his patent with Edison and all those guys, right? And so it goes through 800 different frequencies, puts a little bit of amplitude at each of these frequencies to try to capture a resonant frequency. So, for instance, if at this frequency, that's the frequency of calcium,
mm-hmm,
and there's a response, and they're able to measure how much calcium and then compare it to how much should we have.
normal.
And
Mm-hmm,
so we're either over or under in certain areas.
mm-hmm,
And then they come back with a pretty comprehensive report. This
mm-hmm,
data is encrypted on our side. Then it's actually sent over to Germany, and then
mm-hmm.
they run it through an algorithm, and their artificial intelligence comes back with a really nice, comprehensive 38-page report
It's
that we're able
amazing.
to do. I think amazing from a standpoint of the personalized
Mm-hmm.
plans that you've been working on for your whole career, and even the lifestyle coaching that we do. I mean, this is a perfect tool
It really,
that allows us to leap off of.
and they talk a lot about it's really based on quantum physics and epigenetics. And so epigenetics means, we don't necessarily change our genes, right? We're born with genes, but we can change the gene expression through all kinds of things, lifestyle. I mean, this has been studied, and a lot of our pillars, the 4 pillars, the breathe,
Sounds
eat,
like
move,
optimal living.
sleep,
Is that
are
something that we
all
believe?
things that, the reason we pick this is there's science behind it about like if we can manage stress, or even our thoughts can change our gene expression, right? Our lifestyle and the environment we're exposing ourselves to. Look at twins, identical twins in 2 different environments can have very different expression of their genes and their health outcomes. And so that's what this is all about, is really optimizing at a cellular level how we are navigating our environment and
Right.
how we're living this
And it's a
lifestyle.
snapshot of where are you in the current moment relative to your full potential cellularly.
Correct. Right.
And
That's a good
so
way
it
to
gives
put
you
it.
this dichotomy, so that then we can you can look at it from a medical and a lifestyle standpoint, and I can begin to coach down a path that helps with the changes necessary to help them to realize this higher quality life.
And you know what I really like about this as well is I've always gone beyond and done some deeper dive micronutrient tests that look more like kind of at this cellular
Your blood
level with
tests,
your
yeah.
blood and urine on like your vitamins and minerals and stuff. And basically like how your cellular energy and, how are things getting in there? Because if we do just a B12 level in your serum, that doesn't always really reflect, is it getting into the cells? How are you doing chronically with this B12 level? Yeah, maybe the past 3 days it's been good. I mean, because, the serum test could really just be a short reflection. So I've done those micronutrient tests, but this, I love this really goes beyond because again, we're looking back at 90 to 120 days. It's easy to do. We get the test results very quickly.
Yep.
It can be done on children. It's less traumatic. Also, right?
Animals.
Animals.
The dogs,
You can do
I
it
saw
on
that.
animals.
We haven't done that yet.
I know. I'm kind of intrigued to check out our dog. And what it does is then it gives you a glimpse of all these nutrients. I think it does vitamins, minerals, amino acids, antioxidants, fatty acids. And then it also looks at other environmental strains, maybe or stressors, such as heavy metals or parasites or bacteria or foods that you might be negatively reacting your energy.
Was kind of interesting, especially we're seeing a lot of that with COVID and the effects of this post-virus.
And even EMFs, I mean, we know like all this electronics and stuff, they see that it affects our cells under the microscope. They're still trying to understand like, okay, so what exactly does that do? I mean, there have been some studies and reports looking at like the negative effects on gut health and on our gut bacteria. And so, and food additives, it also looks at those. So it's so comprehensive. And then it gives you actionable plan on how you can start either eliminating things, avoiding things, clearing out things of your body, and then also the nutrients you need to replenish.
And we can help with the bite-sized pieces of transformation and change, right? So it does take... I think you've done a good job of saying this is what we'll focus on for the first 30 days because it's a 38-page report. There's a ton of stuff, right? So we help with the bite-sized pieces, right? Let's do this for 30 days, and then we kind of do that for another 30 days. We'll change these and kind of help them along the path because just to hand them the report is just too much.
It's over.
It's too much.
It's a lot to take in. But the other thing I love is this puts it into systems, body systems. So he, the scientist that put this together, I can't remember his last name. I think it's Ian. But anyway, they have these algorithms, and it's so amazing because you look at your adrenals, your hormones, your gut and digestion, brain health, hydration, energy, sleep, stress and emotions, all of these. And what it is you look at this and certain vitamins and minerals are used to make some of these hormones or these chemicals. And so it's really neat because it makes sense. You look at all these deficiencies or what's going on, and then you can also, he'll give you, usually it's anywhere from 2 to 4 of your top systems that are lacking, that need support and need some help. And a lot of times people might not even have symptoms. Like I've had gut and intestinal show up so much, or microbial balance, and people, they're like, well, I don't have any symptoms. And as soon as we address the gut, it's amazing. Right. All of the like hormones or weight or all this other stuff that's been improved. And so that is really neat. And then the last part is when you are addressing, like I think it's 10 or 15 of your top nutrient needs, right? So number one, whatever your highest nutrient deficiency, I'd call it, or insufficiency, down, they give you foods and ways. So, in the past I would be like, oh, your CoQ10's low or your whatever, selenium. And I would just give people supplements, and then they're on all these supplements, and that's not ideal. You don't want to be on supplements forever.
About food as medicine, and we'll continue to impress this upon our patients. But that is really exciting to be thinking about. Hey, try, and it shows you, right?
Yeah,
and we can help with the coaching and interpreting. These are the foods that you need to be eating. 4
times a week, you're probably it's as much as taking a supplement of this,
right.
And so
that is
people
exciting.
love that. I mean, a lot of our patients they have been on so many supplements, and they've got like 20 of them. So they're trying to come up with ways to like, what do I get rid of? How do I taper these down? Or I get an upset stomach from all these vitamins.
And we are excited about that as an opportunity to heal the healthcare system. Just, let's focus in on the foods that you're eating. And we can help them with that roadmap.
Make
with
things
this,
more affordable,
with this tool, the Cell Wellbeing tool.
Yeah, because heck, supplements add up.
So give us your
Cases. Okay, I have a couple. The first one was very interesting. It was a patient who had, he already had high blood pressure and some adrenal issues, and had ended up with COVID.
Knew he wasn't right.
And he had already been seeing an endocrinologist and a cardiologist for
Something's
control
off.
of these things. Okay, before got COVID, and then he was like, I think my adrenal stuff went crazy again. High blood pressure, heart rate, couldn't sleep. Blood pressure was like going really high, which was odd. And so, I mean, we sent him back. They did a bunch more tests, had heart tests, more endocrinology tests, and they were like, no, your meds are working fine. It's not that. And so finally I was like, okay, maybe we should just do this, and to at least give me some direction. Because I was like, I don't know where to go with this. And number one was emotions and stress. Number two was gut and intestinal. And I can't remember the other two, but the reason I'm pointing those out is because as I stood back and looked at it, and he had no GI symptoms, no upset stomach, nothing. And some of the foods he eliminated. And he had a lot of overgrowth, like imbalance in his gut, bacterial imbalances and stuff. So I really just, for 30 days, spent time addressing gut health and working on that with his digestion and
I was working on the breathing and the
probiotics,
stress.
and we really focused. And you know what? Good stress. I mean, it wasn't bad stress. It was good stress, but also because since COVID, he had been feeling so bad, that was creating a lot of stress because he knew he wasn't right, and his blood pressure and all that was so out of whack. And all just doing that, and then doing the food adding in the nutrients and things. We just did his retest, and he came in and he was like, I feel great. He had to drop his blood pressure medicine because his blood pressure was dropping, and he was just, everything was back into balance. He wasn't having the crazy high heart rate. He wasn't having insomnia, was sleeping good. So that was pretty profound. And I don't think I would have gone down that route. I would not have gone looking at, maybe your gut health's out of balance and all that. So, and then the second one is, a woman
it is pulling us out of treat this ill with this pill.
Yeah, and isolating
right? Because
everything.
now you're moving into another level of objectivity on what is really going on at the cellular level, and you were able to create those changes. That's exciting. Yeah. We're excited.
Well, and some of the nutrient
really.
Deficiencies too, like magnesium were low, and things that, when we've done regular blood tests, they were all fine. But he wasn't, I don't think he was breaking down and absorbing his food and nutrients and all of that. And then I do think it was creating a chronic inflammation and some other nutrient deficiencies, and his gut was so imbalanced, which your immune system and a lot of your nervous system, the signals come from there. And so I think his sympathetic nervous system was in overdrive, adrenals were off. So it was fascinating. So that was amazing. And then this woman, she has been doing so much great work. We've done a lot of like hormone testing and makes super smoothies and on all these supplements. And we kept doing all of this stuff, and she'd feel better, and then she'd be like kind of backslide. And she was like, it seems like things just quit working. And so we ended up doing this test, and again, gut, intestinal, and digestion were high. Hormones were on there. So what I did, again, she was on a lot of supplements too, and they were all good things based on her testing that she needed, and her adrenals looked a lot better and stuff. But we just, again, focused on gut and digestion. And the other thing that was interesting, as we were adding in the nutrients that she was deficient with in the food, she was like, I realize I eat the same thing all the time. Well, the more varied your diet and the nutrients and the phytonutrients, those plant nutrients, the more varied your gut bacteria, right? There are trillions of them, and they all have different roles and jobs. And so we need a varied diet to feed those and keep a healthy
And
balance.
those are things that we can help with on the coaching side. We have some really cool forms that help with just the diversity that we can get at each meal.
Right. And
Instead
the eating
of,
in the rainbow.
I mean, I can be the one that eats the same thing over and over
I
again.
think
But
a
you
lot
have
of
really
people
helped
do.
me with, what'd you tell me, 32 different varieties of foods or meals a week.
Food, yeah,
Foods.
different types of like in the rainbow,
Right.
foods and nuts and seeds,
Right.
plant foods, whole foods.
It will take a little bit of work,
in a
but these
week.
are things we're excited about helping people to integrate into their life.
And the thing she saw, which wasn't why she was even doing this, but doing this, her hormones have been more balanced, her sleep's great, and she lost like, I don't know, 8 pounds or something. And she was like, I had this stubborn belly like fat that I couldn't get rid of, and without even dieting or changing things, like it switched her metabolism. And I think again, when our body's in balance, that's all we're doing is we're really trying to look at where are you depleted, what are you getting too much of, and bring this back into homeostasis or balance. And
It's exciting.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of different cases. I could go on and on,
but we wanted to share this with everyone because I think you have spent the time kind of vetting this and realize that this is a tool that is going to help us with helping people to stay on a course of optimal living, and recognize that, for the most part, I know you and I will probably do it a couple times a year, but, probably at a minimum, it makes sense to go out and do a test like this to get very objective so that we can really hone in even on the coaching side. If optimal living is one of your key pillars in your life, this is something that allows you to take it to that level. And so we're excited about that. So if you're wanting more information, definitely get a hold of us, optolive.com.
we are doing it on those that are not our patients.
Yes.
Also.
Yep.
So our patients get it as a perk already built in, as far as like once they get the test, then we do their coaching and all that as part of their membership. But others can pay for the test and the additional coaching with you.
Yes.
So that's another
and we're doing that now.
way
So that's
that
a
we
good
can
point.
hopefully reach others, because we can only take so many patients. But we do really have a passion to try to help everyone
For sure.
figure out how to be optimal.
Yeah, for more information or getting a hold of us, it's opt2liv.com. Check it out. If this is something that you like, definitely give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share it, all that fun stuff. We are wishing you guys a wonderful day. Take care.